Day to you. Back with another episode. And this one's episode 18 with Rhea Melvin. And yeah, it's a classic. It's a good one, as they all are. Seem to be flowing. And yeah, I've called it Age of the Aquarius because we found out we're both Aquarius, both dyslexic, both got about the same GCSEs, second to none, and both highly creative. So I think that's the way it works, really. But yeah, it's a great episode. Rhea is a singer, dancer, and actress, or actor, and recently brought out a real big track called Gravity, and signing to M22's label. So yeah, we discuss music, reality, upbringings, being Irish, and yeah, it was really good fun. Really good fun. I think we're going to do it again. And yeah, I'll let you listen. And I'm a bit worried she might steal my job because she's got a really good voice as well. Really good radio voice, I would say it. But you know, now maybe they would call you a podcaster. But yeah, it's a good one. So yeah, listen, enjoy, and sit back.
It's like they've really spun a web. Our consciousness,
I can't describe how it
is slightly false.
To me, it's a slightly darker version.
Because there is a...
But I could look into my...
collective consciousness.
Imagination.
Truth is what real reality is based on.
Art, you know,
all my crazy.
Your art is there.
Just because you say it's like that doesn't mean I'm going to read it.
They still don't know where consciousness is. So when I'm meditating... Yeah, I bet you do.
It's basically your heart.
Really?
Yeah.
I just get terrified of it being on compression, but it's not. Right. I think it'll be fine because it's fucking so close.
Let me know if you want me to pull that closer.
Just speak?
La 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 la.
No, I think you're fine.
Okay.
Just relax.
Pressure.
Yeah, it's good pressure though.
No, it's good.
Right, I think we could just go. I feel like I need bongos.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, literally. So welcome to the shed.
Oh, I'm in the shed.
We're finally in.
We're finally, after so long.
So for people that don't know me and you or how we met, I suppose we met really briefly through the weirdness of Box Park and COVID.
Yeah.
And the transition of the world at that period, I suppose.
Literally.
So like from that point, what have you been up to? I know just to give other people the information that you are a singer, dancer, and
entrepreneur,
do this, that.
But yeah, like so it is weird how obviously we've met. Like we both worked under Box Park.
Yeah.
Like the lovely area of Box Park, we both worked under like those pods. And like I was working obviously at a time, like big dream, you go to London, you want to be a big singer, but you have to work another job.
Yeah.
Easy as just like trying to do what you want to do. So yeah, I got a job in a cookie shop, a vegan cookie shop, which actually was decent. But it, like I just was doing that part time, trying to do music. But I always felt like I couldn't really focus on music that much because I was working as well.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for that big break to like either get signed or finally just be able to focus on music full time.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where you kind of like hope that happens. But like at the meantime, I was like definitely putting energy into work or definitely putting energy into like singing, but it felt like I was working, and just like that's whenever like you probably saw me at my like felt like I was really low working there because I was like, what am I doing? Like this is not what I want to do.
I understand that. It's like a real pain, especially when you're a vehicle for another job or another an outlet, but that means your physical body has to be in a place where you can't push your passion or anything else.
That's what it is. It's like you're trapped under this like. You want to be like passionate against the job, obviously, but it's not that deep because you don't really care about the job that much. It's like I'm like thinking about. I just remember like always daydreaming. It was like school, like being in school and like just thinking of like, performing or like doing whatever you want. Madison Square Garden, like literally, but like serving people and being like almost in a trance. Like I want to be doing something else.
It's also quite weird because you're in this like steel box and you can just see the outside world passing by.
Yeah, and you're like just thinking of all your like.
When can I get out there and do something with it?
But like prison actually.
Yeah.
Shit.
So now, and you left there obviously, and now you've. I mean, your latest song, but I don't know when that came out. Was that last year?
So that was funny enough, this time last year.
Yeah, and that was with M22 and Gravity.
Yeah.
So you're flying around.
Yeah, I was flying around. It actually was. It's funny because it was like based on Gravity, and I was like in the music video pure like upside down.
Where there's no gravity.
Literally, there's no gravity. Exactly.
Yeah.
The opposite. It was like, thank God I trained in drama school for this.
Yeah.
But no, it was good.
So how did that come around?
That was so Matt from M22. I'm just gonna name drop him, Matt. He found me on Instagram and was just like, I've been checking out a lot of your covers. Come down. He's based in Manchester. He was like, come down to Manchester, and let's see what you're about. Like, let's write a song and see how it goes. Yeah. So I remember at the time, like, I didn't really have management or anyone around. I kind of was like winging it, just hoping that I would kind of get noticed. And it was like just kind of like fate almost. And he just messaged and I was like, right, okay, I'm just gonna go. Bearing in mind, didn't even know this guy. Could have been a serial killer for all I knew, but I was like, my dreams,
straight
I'm going.
to serial killer.
Yeah. Could have been a serial
Not
killer.
just a bit of a weirdo.
I know, serial killer. But like, yeah, so I kind of just like took a wing for it, went over, met him, and really decent guy, and ended up getting a really good song. And almost like he started managing me and kind of like taking me along of like that journey of,
and is that the first kind of music video you've been in then?
Yeah, that was the first music video, and I was like pinching myself the whole time. I was like, whoa. Like, you know when you dream of something and you're like, it kind of like put it up in your head of what it's going to be like. It was just so different. Yeah. In a good way. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually doing this.
Yeah, I find you can, I mean, you know, worry is one thing, but also even when you're excited about something or anything, you never ever in your head create the visualization. You can get it close, but when you're going into something completely new, it is never what you thought.
It's never. It's mad.
That's what's so fun about it, though. If you were like, oh, well, I knew this was going to happen.
I know. Or like exactly everything to a T, like this is what's going to happen. It always goes the opposite anyway. Yeah. I think that's just life and any type of thing that you expect.
How long was the music video then, shoot wise?
It was like 8 hours.
Oh, so one day you done the whole thing?
Yeah, one day.
That's pretty good then. You know?
I know. I kind of like
flew in, flew out.
Flew in, flew out, touched down.
Yeah.
No, I felt like I kind of enjoyed that process more than like over the space of 2 days. I feel like I would have been more nervous because I was kind of low key shitting myself for it, thinking, oh my goodness, like how is it gonna go? And also like blagging it because obviously like you dream of being in a music video, but like they don't actually teach you like. You have to mouth it. I didn't know like exactly what goes on, what the mechanics are in a music video. Yeah. It's almost like you kind of had to. They were like, okay, like, this is the first scene. Like you have to lip sing this, and we're gonna speed it up. Like they did like stuff where you had to actually speed up the song.
Oh right.
You had to lip sing it really fast. And I was like, you wouldn't know like all of that stuff. No. So it was like learning on the job. Like, interesting. And almost like having loads of people around. It was like really fussy. It was class. And I felt like a pure celebrity. It was like,
yeah. So you moving towards doing that for yourself now? Because you've been signed now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah, I got stuff in the pipeline.
And now you know how to lip sync really fast.
I know, yeah. Got that down.
That must be weird. Because it's like knowing your song anyway, but then also...
But then no second guess. And you know when it's like nerves and then it's like, no, you have to lip sing it. And I was like, I'm going to forget the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like, what comes next? And I'm like, I've literally listened to this song on repeat for like 2 years, so why am I forgetting it?
Yeah, I suppose the pressure though, you can just freeze a little bit, or with the brain thoughts.
I know. You know what it is?
Where am I?
You know what it is? It's like when people are looking at you, it's like when people are literally all eyes on you, it's like the pressure it hits.
Yeah.
Because like before,
There's quite a lot of people on a production of a music video as well, especially like that. It looked like a big setup.
It was like
in some kind of tunnels. It was like
it was an abandoned aircraft.
Yeah. Hang on.
Really sick actually location. It was like fully on. It was like really outside of London. I can't even remember the area, but it was really like it was like 2
It's got
trains.
so much around gravity.
And you're like
everything's flying.
Could have gone to bloody NASA. What was that about?
Yeah.
But no, abandoned aircraft. So it was very interesting. But it was good because like all the locations of like the different scenes were in the one area. So it wasn't like we were like getting a car to the next bit. It was like all quite decently in one area.
Yeah.
So it was sound.
So has music been something for you did you grasp that passion from such a young age, or you've always been like dabbling with other things? Obviously not cookies, just music.
Always wanted to be working in a cookie. No, I feel like, Ryan, to be fair, growing up, I actually just wasn't good at anything else. Like I was always in school. I was one of those kids where I was in school and I was like, I just know I'm never going to get anywhere from school. Like maths, English, I'm really severely dyslexic.
Same here.
Are you?
Yeah.
High five. Air five. Really? Are you?
Yeah. Massively. Like, can you not see the writing on the things there?
No, because I'm literally dyslexic, so I wouldn't have known.
No, my mind definitely works in a dyslexic manner. Like, I can't. Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? I mean, so when I was younger, I used to think that was the worst thing. I used to think,
in school, yeah.
But that's all we know.
Like,
It's like you're either going to be a doctor, you're either going to be like a bloody scientist. You have to be whatever. And school does have like some sort of weird pressure on you to make you feel like if you're not going to do something academic, you're not really going to amount to anything.
Yeah.
So I had that going through my brain the whole time in school, just thinking, like it was such a bad thing to be dyslexic, or I used to hide it and be really embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
But now it's like we can actually use it to our advantage because it's like it just means we're so much creative in a different area.
Of course, yeah. I think also the outlets we have now, like, there's a platform for everything. I mean, with this, I can put it out on YouTube, I can put it out on Audible, I can put it out on Spotify, I can put it out on Reels. The outlets for creativity now is just like,
It's
you're one
endless.
vehicle, but it can be put in microdoses everywhere.
Yeah.
But school is like, if you don't understand the test,
Bubble.
you're going to fail, and now you have to do it again.
Yeah. And if you don't get your maths GCSE or you don't get your English GCSE, literally you might as well just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do
I did
something.
terrible.
I didn't even get mine.
You didn't get yours at all? No.
And it's hilarious because like every job.
So I might have
I've
got
been
one
to-
grade more than you.
That's jokes.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that. No, I literally didn't even get mine. But it's funny because like in every
Did you just
job,
miss it then?
I just
Didn't go? Or you just did you do the test?
I did the test, but literally it was like they're like knowing I was gonna fail, and it was so funny. Like I remember the night before, like revising, being like, I'm just gonna stick on Netflix because I literally know I'm just not gonna pass. So it's funny how like I don't know. It's funny, but I've blagged my way. Like I probably shouldn't be saying this. Like every job interview is gonna be looking back at this maybe and being like, she got like A star in her maths GCSE. I've literally wrote it on everything. A star.
Yeah, but I think like no one goes back to
cares.
the school. You know what I mean? I
Who's
just
gonna
want to
call
check.
up? Is Rhea got her maths GCSE? Please.
Yeah, I think it's when like
To work in hospitality, like.
yeah, that's what I mean. I think if you've got a voice box and you can pour a drink or hospitality or cookies, then you know what I mean. A lot of the time
Life
you can get the
skills.
job. Yeah, but I think some people lying on on certain things can be quite dangerous.
Sorry, guys.
No,
All
but
my jobs. No, literally.
But no, dyslexic for me, I used to look at it as a burden, but now I look at it as like it's the way my brain works. I can harness that. I'm more creative. But I think schools are getting better in a creative sense now
I think so.
because obviously where people are making money now.
Yeah, and it's mad how like. Probably people that are like say like 16 trying to figure out whether they want to go to uni. I feel like it's a lot more accessible to be like people are making loads of money off Instagram.
Yeah.
People are making loads of money off like anything, like doing brands, like
Yeah,
creating
yeah,
brands, and
yeah.
it's mad how like I kind of low-key wish I was in that generation where like it was very like broadened, but like back then it was just a bit more like Like, I don't know whether you can do that, but now people are venturing out, and it's amazing to see
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the evolution of like it going.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are not thinking I have to go to uni to make something of myself, because realistically you don't. And a lot of the most successful people didn't even go to uni or didn't even get their Ma's GCSE.
I think it's good. I think uni's good if you know exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
But you can use that place, and with the people that are there, you're around a lot of people that are creative and doing the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you do make mates for life, or you do then, someone gets a job there. So that connectivity, that networking, that worked. But in school, it's like, it's a system where you're literally having
Just
to
like
learn all
criteria.
this stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to uni, and I kind of like, I think when you find, like you said, you didn't feel you was good at anything else but singing and dancing.
Yeah.
And I think when you find your synchronicity to what you're meant to do, to your passion, everything just kind of falls
into place.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And you'll get that sideline job all the time if you ever need it, or like,
Literally.
because it knows it's pumping the thing that you're meant to be doing.
Exactly. 100%. I feel like I've got a motto where it's like, if you want to do something, you could literally do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah.
But if you know you're good at it, you might as well try. Because I remember I came to like like almost like an obstacle, whether I could almost like see my life go in two ways.
Yeah.
This is when I stopped school at 16. I knew I was leaving school anyway, because I
Yeah.
literally could not go anywhere else. But I remember I could not get a job. But I literally saw my life go in two directions, and one was like go to tech and like try and do health and beauty, or like a little bit of like or like low key drama stuff, like almost amateur stuff, or like try and go to London.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, like, why not just try for the bit? I know it seems so out of reach and so daunting and so scary and such out of my comfort zone. But I was like, I know if I went that way, I'd regret it. So it's mad how like it's almost like the fear just steps in, and it's like or overcomes, and it's just like, why not?
Yeah,
and I think it's that fuck it mindset of just fuck it.
Yeah, I think
life's so short.
And I think some people get confused by fear. I think you're meant to get nervous in what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
But I think it might just be your body going, yo, this is going to be a bit intense, so we're just getting ready.
Yeah.
So then you just get ready into it, and then you go into it, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Defo.
But I would rather live with that nerve and that excitement than nothing.
Same. Than just like immediate.
Because that's depression.
Yeah, that's depression. Like, literally, it is like living a life of like what could have been or what if. And I think that's probably one of my deepest fears, going deep right now, but I think that's probably one of my
That's
deepest
kind of what
fears.
this is.
Okay, I'm letting it all loose.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
therapy
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But no, it is. It's kind of like that's probably my deepest fear. It's like being unsuccessful, but it's not. It's like being like wishing of like I had of. Or could of.
Yeah. I think.
So.
And also, I think if you're pushing yourself to go in the direction of your passion or what you want to do, then when it doesn't happen, you don't really necessarily look at it like a negative.
Yeah.
Because you just
it's
think
not meant to be.
or it's not meant to be just then.
Yeah.
You're not quite ready.
Just
That's
not.
why that didn't happen, and you still need to learn certain things for that to happen.
Exactly.
And then you'll get to that process.
Yeah.
So what was growing up like? Because it wasn't in London then.
It wasn't in London. It was obviously in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's actually very different. I felt like I almost grew up properly in London, because I actually moved over when I was 16, obviously after school. But I felt like childhood was good, but it felt like I was a little bit different my whole time, like being in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And nothing against Northern Irish people. I just feel like our culture is a bit more, you either are Northern Irish and you either look Northern Irish. There wasn't really much ethnicity going around, so I almost felt a little bit different. And I think maybe that's probably because maybe not being as academic, but also having a look, because I'm half Spanish as well.
Yeah.
So like, and I think it was hard to kind of be accepted in that kind of culture of being different.
Yeah.
But like everyone was quite, you either looked the same or you did what you did. But if you're a little bit different, it kind of was a bit taboo.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a weird, I felt like I couldn't really find my place growing up. It was almost like I didn't know who I was. But I remember the moment like moving to London at 16, I felt like I really found myself.
Yeah, of course.
Which is
because
funny.
everyone's very diverse here in a sense.
Yeah.
It's nothing different, I suppose.
Yeah, because there's so many, like, it's mad how like being from a small town, like it is really small and like everyone knows everyone, and there's just not really much people being different or wearing what they want to wear or doing what they want to do. So I think almost like moving, it was like there's so much. I just remember coming to London and being like, there's just so much culture.
Yeah, yeah.
And no one's the same.
No.
And it was almost like I can be anyone.
Yeah.
And like I can be anyone that I want.
I can be me.
I can finally be me. I mean, quite literally though.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah. I felt like I didn't really, I felt like it didn't really fit in.
Would you say that because I think, you know, if you have a bit of a harder upbringing in a sense of not fitting in, you kind of mold yourself as a stronger person anyway.
You do.
And then it gives you more of an edge when you're surrounded in London, because that's exactly what you need if you're going to be a singer or dancer or, you know, any kind of creative. You need to have something that's going to pull you apart from the rest.
I believe in that, and I think that's kind of what I did before going. I kind of hardened myself to a certain extent, and then coming and like being in like an atmosphere of so many big personalities and drama skill, it's almost like I didn't feel like really like small. I felt like actually quite like big and like almost like I fitted in perfectly. It was like the most ideal place I could have been. Yeah. Which is mad, because at home I was like a shell of a person. I was like, like I couldn't even. Yeah, it's mad.
So who's Spanish and what side is?
My dad.
Oh, your dad is. Right.
Who's Spanish? What's that?
So he moved to Ireland.
Yeah. So to be honest, I couldn't even tell you much about him because I've only met him once.
All right. Okay.
Surprise. But
Surprise.
But it's funny because it's one of those, like, I've always lived with my mum, always with my brother, and I kind of got to, and I think that's probably a core as well of how I felt like I didn't really know myself growing up, because I never knew my dad. Yeah. So it was one of those where like I didn't really know exactly who I was in terms of like that side of the family. I was just brought up with the kind of my mum's side of the family, but almost was like curious to know like what my other roots were. But I just never got a chance to meet my dad. But funny story, quickly. Yeah. Turned out he lived around the corner from me my whole life.
What?
Surprise! Literally, like, it's one of those random ones where, like, I lived with my mum my whole life and then kind of, like, got really curious to where he was. Yeah. My mum said, like, he always lived here as well. But, like, he kind of just disappeared whenever I was born. Yeah. Sounds awful, but he did. And I remember just being like, surely like this motherfucker somewhere. Yeah. But like I remember like going through a stage before getting into drama school, before getting a scholarship, because I got a scholarship.
Yeah, with no GCSEs.
With no GCSEs. Mad.
Yeah.
But
gotta tell my brothers that.
Imagine they're gonna come for me.
Yeah.
But so I remember like before getting the scholarship, our school was really prestigious, so it was like a lot of money to like pay up from. And I remember my mum was like, look, I'm sorry, the reality is you're not going to be able to go if you don't get a scholarship. Yeah. So I remember getting really angry and thinking, you know, if I had a dad to bring that other income, it's mad how my brain thought at that time, but I was
true though,
really bold. I was if I had a dad that could maybe like give me that other income, I probably could have gone. And I remember just getting really angry and looking up where he lived and like randomly finding this guy on Facebook.
And he was around the fucking corner.
And he was around the corner. And I actually, this is ballsy, but I actually went, I remember one day after school, I was like, said to one of my friends, I was like, I'm going to go and knock on his door. Yeah. And I did. And I went and knocked on his door, and it was so random. Like this boy answered. He was about 14. And I was like, does he live here? Does he live here? And he was like, I'm not going to say his name. And he was like, no, he used to live here, but I'm like his stepson. This is so weird. And I just remember finding out like this whole other life that he had. He had like a wife and stuff. And so it was kind of like hard hidden, but almost like this is weird. And I remember meeting up with him as well, like trying to organize a meetup. And we met up, and it was just really weird. It was a really weird atmosphere. Yeah. But
it's tricky when you don't grow up with that mold.
I know.
And then you have to learn who that person is.
Because it was almost, but it was actually really realized, like, what's the word? Like, almost like a nice like realization, because it was almost like I had all these questions like fured up and like was really like wanting to pump out these questions and be like, you know, why, but it almost like got to that stage where I saw him face to face and like kind of emotionally forgive him from like just not being present in my life. But it was just kind of like but I felt probably like fine because I had my mum and I had my brother. I'd never felt like I needed him.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
almost like my mum was kind of both parts. So it felt like I was almost like forgiving of like accepting of who he was and kind of intrigued to kind of get to know him a bit.
Yeah, I always
before
say
going.
forgive but don't forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it takes too much energy to hate or it takes,
It
you know what I mean?
does. It actually does, and it's emotionally. It actually probably affects you more emotionally than
Of course.
him.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I would hate to go through my life with this awful grudge or this awful like, yeah, I'm never speaking. Like, I feel like it's just too short enough to just. You'd rather just forget and accept because
Yeah, yeah.
like at the time I was 16. I remember just being all like, you know, when you're 16 you think you know everything.
No fear.
No fear. And I'm like, I am the alpha male. I am the dom. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's mad how like we're all just human, and like once you grow up and you get to like your 20s, I start to realize like, you know what, he was probably just like, we all make mistakes. And
Yeah,
it's
of course.
just- it
You
is
start
what it
realizing
is.
your own self-awareness and
Yeah.
that how someone else can be that kind of
Not everyone's
somebody else can have.
perfect.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
And also just like, it's not just because of you. Like sometimes like when we're young, we're very small-minded.
Mm.
We think it's always because of us, or it's like everything revolves around you. But once you get older, it like that kind of goes, and it's like, whoa, well, he's probably thinking of this and da-da-da. Like there's so much more to a story
Yeah.
than what you think in your head.
Yeah, yeah, of
So
course.
it is mad. But
Yeah, I think DMX said something like trust a snake to be a snake, trust a snake to bite you.
oh, that's quite good. I like that.
Yeah.
Just think about you, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so you don't. So mainly, I mean, you're like pretty much Irish then, really. Do you ever go to Spain or anything like that? Or that kind of heritage is not.
No, I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to. I'd love to like look up my ancestries.
Ancestors.
Ancestors, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to like really get involved, but I feel like I'll do that maybe later.
At a
on
later
in
time, I
life.
think you'll find it. You've just found yourself.
myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think like definitely putting all my energy into my career at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
But then maybe later on in life, I'd love to kind of
Yeah.
look that up. But for now, I'm full on Irish, 100% Irish.
Irish.
Irish, yeah.
So who, growing up, who's sort of been your big inspirations? Not necessarily just music, but like your mum seems like quite an inspirational person.
Yeah, it actually, as corny as it does sound, it is going to be my mum.
Yeah.
I feel like she's one of those women that like, just, it's the mindset. She's always taught me the mindset of like, if you want anything done, you can do it yourself, and you actually don't need to rely on anyone.
No.
Which I really like, and I feel like I've taken that from her through my like career in terms of music as well. It's like, I can't wait around for a dream to happen, or I can't wait around to
No.
rely on someone. So I feel like that's probably one of the best lessons she's taught, where it's like, if you want something done, you can literally do it, or, you know, you don't need to rely on someone to make your dreams happen, and also just to make in general happen, because also humans are unreliable, and like it sounds like a full on like.
No, it's true though. From
Negative,
building,
but-
you know, if from my side of things, like from building businesses or
Yeah.
clothing line, when you
Think
have to
about
use
yourself.
a lot of people to build one objective,
Yeah,
you're relying upon a lot of things, you know. And
you are.
God, does England like a drink? You know what I mean?
True.
The amount of hangovers that have let me down.
Literally, I'd be like, "Yo, mate, you coming?" And they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
bed,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
absolutely
Yeah.
drunk."
There's no excuse.
There's no excuse.
No.
But it's mad how like, but that's something that I like really value from her, that she's taught, is like, you can do kind of anything yourself, and also it's okay to be on your own.
Yeah.
She's always like, I've never seen my mum with a partner like since my dad, so it's amazing to see her be completely fine on her own, because I feel like in your 20s you kind of get really scared. I mean, a lot of my friends, like, seeing their relationships and like seeing how like they rely kind of on someone or like someone to make them happy.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you can be completely whole and fine in yourself. And it's like you can actually carry that in and almost blossom a relationship into, if you're happy enough, you can elevate it. It's not supposed to be like dragging someone down.
No.
And that's what she's always been like, you know, she's never had. And also like I've always loved to see her with someone, but it's almost like you can actually be completely whole and fine on your own.
Yeah, and I think some people need to go through the process of being on their own first before
Yeah.
they're with someone. Otherwise, it becomes
Well, I think that's me right now. I feel like that's what it is about, like
Yeah.
being completely and accepting that. Because I remember going through stages of thinking, like I remember just always seeing my career as my one focus.
yeah,
Which I kind of like, but also it's a blessing and a curse. Like I would see my friends go through all these big relationships, and I'm like, I kind of really want to experience that, or like I want to experience heartbreak, or I want to
The grass
experience...
is always greener.
Yeah, the grass is always greener. And it's mad how like...
But you just need to water yours.
Exactly.
That's it.
True that, Ryan. True that. Water the plant. But like, it's fine. It's fine to be like kind of going through that. But I always thought like, oh, in terms of writing and like in terms of writing a song, I need to like go through that heartbreak. But it's actually fine, like to just, you know, go through your life experience. So I've always kind of had that mindset of like career, but then felt like I've missed out in the other sense of like love and relationship. But then seeing my mum be fine with
You
like,
got
that
ages.
as well. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm 22,
got ages,
chill out.
ages
I need to
for
be married
heartache.
with my kids right now, I know.
Yeah.
So,
No, and I think also like you seem like you know yourself really well at a young age, I would say. And I think also if you don't like your own company, that's not a good thing.
No,
you
100%.
need to be good on your own. See, lockdown for me was good for that because
Right.
it was a very much you know, furloughed. I was here for 3 months.
Yeah.
This is really where I started this from.
Yeah.
Before I used to make clothes in here.
I love that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so there's a lot of energy in this place, I would say, from what's been made and what's coming out of it.
But like trial and error, and I feel like that feels like it's that atmosphere.
Yeah,
of,
but
like,
also I found that what lockdown did for me was I stepped off.
Yeah.
Like, because like you said,
Was
the
go,
focus
go.
was constantly on business. And then I realised, hang on a minute, I'm actually a person.
Yeah.
And like
And
that
what
was at
actually makes me
29.
happy, yeah.
Yeah. So that was very late, I would say. And, you know, I went straight into businesses and everything like that.
Yeah.
But didn't really ever take the time to myself.
Yeah.
And to heal in certain ways, to acknowledge certain things, you know,
and
to do
also
stuff
to
like
listen. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
To listen to like what really you want out of life, because
Mm.
we're in a role, and I remember like working and like on a role of my career is going to make me happy, which is a really bad mindset, because realistically, like, you should be happy in the present moment of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, okay, once I hit the success peak of whatever, being a singer or being whatever, it's not
Yeah.
going to make you happy, because realistically, the people that are up there aren't even happy. So it's like, what makes us feel like we have to be happy once this happens?
Of course.
But it is mad how, like, yeah, as you were saying, like, once you're like, you take a minute to kind of settle off of all the chaos of life. And I loved lockdown because you felt like,
Yeah.
what a second, I'm going to second guess who I am right now. It actually was that, which is good.
Yeah.
It's not how you came up with like a completely different career. It's
Different
mad.
outlet. You know, I think I looked at everything I didn't like with my previous
Yeah.
business and everything I wanted to connect with this business. And
Yeah.
I love conversation, obviously.
The art of it.
Yeah, and just you know, I used to sell a lot of festivals and things like that. So, and the main thing, the clothes were just to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You thought
so
it was kind of what was going to make you
it was mainly just talking to everyone that I liked. So I looked at it that way.
mad.
But yeah, it's funny, like that you say, you know, it can be dangerous to goal chase. I find it's good to have goals, but once you're there, you know, what's the next thing? What's
Yeah.
the next thing? What's the
But
next
also
thing?
being able to celebrate them moments.
Yeah,
Because
of
a lot
course.
of people just go,
Future thinking is dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like this is, for instance, like me this time last year, I remember one of my goals was to be on a podcast. Not that I'm on a podcast right now in this moment, how ironic. But it's mad how like
Yeah.
now that I'm in the moment, like appreciate it and like make sure like you're really in it, because
Yeah.
it's mad how like we've got these goals, and once we're there, it's like, right, what's next? Or like, what am I gonna do next? Or like, it's mad that we like, it's mad to just
We can't stop doing that though as a human, I don't think.
I feel like that is just a human trait of
Yeah.
like life.
Yeah.
But it's kind of acknowledging it, trying to be as, you know, content as you are of what you wanted. Because I almost find like it's cute whenever you look back of like your small goals, and if you've achieved some of them, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
like you should be proud of yourself.
So do you feel, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but do you feel that the passion, to follow your passion for you is the key to your sort of happiness
Yeah.
most of the time?
Yes, I do. I think it's like to do with, because sometimes I'd go through a stage where I'm like, if I'm not being productive, I'm not happy. But it's not even that. It's just like one thing to even better yourself a day. If it's even like the smallest thing of getting up and making your bed, or like talking to someone, or having a good conversation. I actually really love conversation. And like,
You could be a podcaster.
thank you. And by the way, my next podcast is like, maybe. But it's actually, it's funny how you said that, because now thinking about like obviously music stuff and like what I want to do,
Yeah.
a lot of it is to like sing my experiences, but also like tell a story.
Yeah.
And I think if you can make someone, if someone can get something out of this podcast, or someone can get something out of what you're trying to say,
Yeah, or the music.
or the music, whatever,
Yeah.
I think your job is done. And I think that's what fulfills me, of being able to like do something. I know that sounds really humble and like nice, but like it's true though. Like being able to like give something to someone makes me feel better. Not like all selfish and like I need to like, you know, do this. So.
Yeah, a lot of the time I think also when you create something, it's like it's running through you. Like you don't really know.
Yeah.
I struggled a little bit with podcasting at the start, in the sense of like I paint or I've done artwork, so always you would have something physical, but then it's like what I would get from listening back to having an interview was I'd found that so much more creative.
Yeah.
But I never really looked at words as being creative, especially being dyslexic.
You're like, words are the curse, the devil.
Well, I write these solo pods. But I need someone to write emails for me, because I write like I'm speaking.
Same.
It's completely informal.
Same. Like,
what's up, bro?
Literally, Ryan, I'm the worst. I would literally be like, I actually sometimes, have you got that like thing where you would like speak into your phone and it would type for you?
Yeah, a lot of the time it doesn't pick up.
Yeah. Well,
what are you trying to say?
Well, listen, and in Irish accent's even worse. It's like gibberish. It comes out gibberish. So I have to actually put on an English articulated accent and be like, hi, how are you today? Kindest regards. And it's like, it just types crap. And it's so funny how like, I just don't make any sense over email. So I need to like get someone to help me.
So did you actually have like the dyslexic test? Like to find out if you was?
Yes, but that was like, I think they clocked early on. I just remember my mum coming like sit me down after like a homework, because she just sent me my homework, and it just used to be a battle.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't get how you don't understand. And I was like,
no.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I remember her sitting me down one like day after school, and I think I was about 6, so I really wasn't that old. I must have clocked early. I was maybe showing some signs. But I remember her saying like, I think you're going to need a bit of extra help.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind.
I had a tutor for like 6 years.
Did you?
It didn't work.
Nothing. I ended up like, I had a tutor. Ended up just speaking crap to them, like just getting stuff out of them.
It was terrible.
Like a good conversation.
She used to put on Juliet was her name.
Juliet.
She used to put on Wimbledon as well. Like she was
couldn't be bothered.
She was obsessed, but she's like, I'll keep it on quiet. But most of the time I'll be watching it and we'd be like doing whatever.
It's almost like they just...
Sorry, Mum. All those £22 you must have paid.
You know what? If I career change, if I ever need to make some extra cash, I'm going to think of teaching a dyslexic person, like, whatever homework, because literally all you do is like, put on a YouTube video and watch like nothing, because
but that's how we learn though, in a sense though.
It is.
Like I find I learn if someone shows me how to do something physically, I can do it straight away. Near enough, you know. There's a lot if we're not talking about free running. Jump up there. No.
Parkour, try.
Parkour.
Try it, your turn. You're like,
okay, maybe not that one.
Maybe not.
But like with what are you like at reading books? Do you even bother? There's a lot of these look great. They look great. I've read probably actually no. I've read 1, 2, 3. This is me boasting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've read 5 out of about 10.
Well done. That's actually well done, because reading is like I'm high
10
or
years.
something. I'm like stoned when I'm reading. I don't know what it is. I just have no clue. It's like the words are, and you know when people are like, is dyslexia like when the words are like forming, and I'm like, yeah, when I'm reading.
Yeah.
It's literally just everywhere. So yeah, don't
I
read
think
as
it's
much.
like with a word as well. It's like you can't.
The B's and D's for me.
But also, I can't visualize a word. I think we think more in pictures than we do, more in visualizations than in words. Yeah. Because I'll read a page and then I'll go,
what was that about?
I don't know.
No, I'm focused on like how I'm reading it. I'm like, it's so funny. That's what it's like, dyslexia. It's like you're reading, but you're not all there. It's like you're away with the fairies when you're reading.
Yeah.
And then you have to do it like 10 times. You're like, right, now I finally get it.
That's why one of my favorite books was Alan Watts. It's called The Book. And I'll send you a link of, he's like some posh British kind of philosopher that went to the eastern side of the world, you know, and brung back that kind of culture, so like meditation.
Love it.
But he talks in like a riddle kind of way. It's very like words are his pattern.
And would you understand that, do you reckon?
So the book is almost like I can hear him in my head, and it's a very much different way of writing. He's written like 30 books, and they're all just like the Zen way. You are who you are.
But that's mad, because I feel like to a normal person, maybe they would not understand that. But to a dyslexic person, maybe that is like, it's mad how like we can maybe get what people are saying. I feel like we've maybe got a good sense of what people are trying to say, even without like...
Empathy might be higher in dyslexia, I'm not sure. But
yeah, maybe. But carry on.
But with like these, I listen to audio. Like I can take that in all day. You know,
yeah, same with podcasts. I love
podcasts and everything like that, and I feel like I'm learning. But then it took me a while to realize that was a way to learn.
I know.
Because you've been so taught in a way of reading textbook, that's how you digest something, and it's like,
Very
but
true.
I can't do that.
I know, and it's like, what other way? What is that the reason?
Yeah.
Usually. So true. I find that as well. It took me a while though to figure out, and I still feel like to this day I'm still trying to figure out how I learn, how I actually absorb information.
Yeah.
Because I find like, yeah, there is some sort of way, but like I'd love to know more of like how else I can do it.
Yeah,
I feel like I know a little bit, but I've not really, it's like almost like I've found a certain percentage of how I can do it, but not really.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out what that...
Learning how to learn.
Learning how to learn who I am.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, how I exist.
Alan Watts says something quite funny. It's you are you because I am I, and I am I because you are you.
Wow.
But
What did you say?
He's just nuts, but yeah. But also he's a tortoise in my living room, so it's calm. So going back a little bit down the career path, how do you feel? Obviously, you're going to bring out new music. You're going to, expand. More people are going to get to know you. What's your relationship with your passion, but also the fame that's going to come with it? How do you feel fame is around how it can be on a positive and negative side?
It's quite scary when you think of it like that.
Yeah.
Like imagine being like so normal and then imagine like blowing up overnight. I always found it like interesting to know,
Terrifying.
like imagine that, like artists that like have literally brought out one song, and it's mad how it can literally take one song. Because like for me it was like I thought in my head, I was like, Gravity's gonna come out and I'm gonna be huge, world by star. But it's mad how like obviously the reality kicks in.
I love your honesty to
I
that.
know, it's straight,
but you do, you always think, oh, this is gonna be the big one.
I remember like taking like a Snapchat memory, thinking, right, Rhea, and it was like a note to self. It was like, if you ever become huge, just remember this feeling before. Come back to the humbleness. I'm like, who do I think I am? It's funny, but I feel like, I mean, I'd like to hope I'd be humble and chill and whatever, but I suppose you never know until it happens. But I also think fame's a thing right now where it's kind of dead. I feel like being famous, once you're there, I feel like everyone's famous these days for like so much.
Yeah.
So it's almost like back in the day, the fame was so like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera era was so...
Yeah.
That was a famous
NSYNC.
person, and it was insane. Yeah, and it was like bow down to all these great celebrities. But I feel like now, because TikTok and
less
so-
creative outlets led less to less creatives in that sense.
Quite literally, I feel like artists are kind of looking to like, which is fine, but like it's kind of like the sense of art and like albums these days. It's just kind of like but then there's that famous train guy on TikTok, and he's pretty famous. Like there's not really much substance to fame. So I almost feel like it's so dead and gone, where like if it does hit me, you probably might just feel normal as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think then there's levels, isn't there, in a sense.
Levels.
You've got the obviously the cancel culture side, but then you've got the kind of untouchable sides, like Kanye West and things like that.
Yeah.
Can just, but
then also like that's so gradual for him. I think like overnight you can't become a worldwide star.
No.
Maybe you can, but it feels...
We're looking at 30 years, 40 years.
It does. It takes so much gradual hard work, and I think from Kanye being like... Did you see that documentary?
Loved
by the
it.
way? Insane genius, like literally a genius.
Yeah.
But it's so inspiring as well. For someone like me, like an upcoming artist, wanting to see like how he did get that rejection.
Yeah, of course.
And then literally everyone's saying no. And like
For such a long time. Yeah.
Him going into that label and singing, and them like being like no, but it's mad how like it did take a huge lump of like time. But then it is possible, and I think that's mad.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like, as long as I, don't say the wrong thing too much on a podcast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as long as I get to keep doing what I like doing,
Yeah.
then it all makes sense.
100%.
You know, and I think with Ye now, it's like he's just an outlet of expression, like
Of literally expression.
Yeah.
Through his clothes, through his brat, like through everything.
for anything that can be physical that he can mentally make. Yeah. Did you see that thing he made? I can't remember what it's called, but it's like
it's like a speaker thing, and it's like something to do with
But he managed to sell his album for $200. That's the only place you could buy it, so it was $200.
mad.
That's where he's a genius. I think anyone that it's what we're looking at and talking about a minute ago was obviously like the train guy. No, I haven't seen anyone do that, to be honest. He's pretty dope. Like
pretty
the excitement he has around a train is just mad.
Yeah, I know, he's pretty sick.
But I mean, Gucci picked him up, and like,
What?
yeah, so he done a whole ad with Gucci and got like dressed up. I think he
Sick.
went on Franz Ferdinand, maybe
Yeah.
he went on
All
stage.
for the love and the passion of trains. I
Yeah.
love that. Like, you can do anything.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, it's just different, I suppose. But with train guys, just made me lose my thought. But
I know,
basically,
yeah.
with like Kanye, I think it's where people can call him a genius, or where I think it is that is
Yeah.
because everyone's doing one thing and then he does something different. Yeah, and I think that's the key to it now.
Defo.
And it's fucking hard
But
because
it's scary and daunting.
Yeah,
Wow.
that too. Yeah, because you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a lot of trust.
Precisely.
Mm.
And I think that comes down to music. That's like kind of me where I'm at the minute. It's like almost like I'm on this career path where it's like, be yourself, but then don't be too yourself, because you won't fit into the algorithm of what the music is these days.
Yeah.
But then you also will be so far away that like you're just not accepted. So it's almost like being yourself to a certain extent to make people grab on and be like, oh, this is what she's about.
Yeah.
Then what have you got to come that's going to be different? And I think the artists that have really done that well is Lady Gaga, because she like was completely doing what was trending at the time, like
Yeah.
Just Dance, it's all that dancey music, and then went completely off the rails and weird, like Alejandro and all those different albums, and like, you know, completely spoke her mind and wanted to say her truth from the beginning, but had to kind of play the game first
Yeah.
in order to get the respect of people. All eyes on her.
Yeah, yeah.
And then went fully on weird. And I think if I can do that right, hopefully authentically be myself and be
And
you
then
know,
go fully
be
weird.
accepted for it. But if not, I might have to play the game and then be fully weird.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
suppose it's weird how like it's mad how like it's the initial fear of like, if you want to be yourself, like you do have to just free fall into the unknown of like,
Yeah, of
I
course.
hope people accept me, and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Billie Eilish did it well as well. Like, she completely was herself, but like again, did what was trending to a certain extent, and then was like her own self.
Yeah, I mean, I think with beats now, like a producer knows a hit.
Yeah.
You know.
100%. It's like, but also like for me in this, like I'm in that world, but I'm also like not a producer, so I'd not know. Like, it's mad how like they can hear that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a worldwide hit, or that
Yeah.
is a hit, or that's not gonna work, or that will work. And also, who's to decide? I find it mad how like record
Because
labels.
it still could not do well.
Yeah.
It depends, but
Like, who's the like
well, I think we're just like walking.
we're all blagging it.
We're walking like, you know, picking up on frequencies. So it's like there's certain, you know, I think there's certain beats to everyone in a sense, but there's definitely a generalization
Of like, yeah.
of one topical beat that's gonna hit. You know, like
It's all
summer tunes are
personal
quite different
preference.
to winter tunes. You know,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
true.
It's a feeling, you know.
It's a feeling, 100%.
So-
But it's mad how like it's all preference, and like who's to say, like say at a record label in A&R saying that is what everyone's gonna love and everyone's gonna buy that.
Yeah.
But like, and it flops, and it's mad how like that is like, who's to say that will work or will
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I almost feel like we're all A&Rs in our own sense of like our own material. It's like, I'm gonna do this because I like it, and I think that's probably what I should probably think about a little bit more making music. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't have to think too much into like what people want to hear rather than what I actually just want to make.
Yeah.
Because what am I good at? You know, I'm always going to do my best work of like what I like to do rather than what I feel like people want to hear. So,
Yeah. And I think if you're good at what you do
yeah.
and you do what you like to do, then people just fuck with it anyway, because it's like,
because if you own your shit, no
Yeah.
one can say like you're not owning it. So
yeah, it's like if I was a podcaster, like what I'm trying to be or am. But if I was kind of like
guessing yourself the whole time, you'd be
yeah,
like,
if I'm sitting in here going, oh, I just don't know what to say right now.
or like saying, what do you think of this? And be like, actually, is that even a good question?
Yeah, was that? Should I have said that? Oh, God.
But then it's funny how like my brain works like that. Like I'll be saying stuff and I'll be like, yeah.
You can think it,
And I'll be like,
but you
"That's not
don't
right."
say it.
It's so funny like how confident someone can be, but like inside they're like, it's mad.
So, out of like inspirations, if you could bring an artist back from the dead, who would you bring back?
Ooh, very good one. Freddie Mercury,
Yeah.
I would say, or Freddie. I mean, he's just like radiance. He just radiates like different and like, doesn't he? He just had such a. You know what it was for me? It was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was just the fact that was like, what is that, like a 5-minute long song?
Again,
That's such
genius,
art,
bringing stuff
genius.
out that no one else was doing.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to do that because it was such a fucking long song.
No, literally. But I respected that so much because it's like, I like to see, like, for my music and what I hope that people gauge from it when I release is like a story.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily be me because I love acting. So, like, being able to tell a story of something random or of what you've experienced or what a friend has experienced and being able to, like, show it. I want to, it's mad how like storytelling is such an interesting thing, but for him, he like wrote obviously that story and it's probably didn't happen that about that man and whatever, but it's so like, what's the word? Obscure.
What was that? What story did he write then? Or
Well, it was like, Mama.
oh yeah.
It's all
yeah.
like, but like killing someone or something. Don't even know that much.
Yeah, he might have just like been fucking high. Like, you know,
Yeah. But I love that. It's the fact that, and like, well, Ed Sheeran kind of did it with, what's that song that like about that homeless girl?
Oh,
What?
where she has
Pale
wings
face. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wings
yeah.
to fly. But it's obviously like it's a true story. But yeah, it's mad and like obviously she was on the streets and stuff, and it's obviously he didn't experience it himself, but like being able to capture a story of what he's seen.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people don't really do that much in music these days. I mean,
No.
Georgia Smith, Blue Lights, that was good. Like, there's definitely a few, but not really. It's all quite a feeling. It's not really as much of a story.
No.
You know.
It's scary because I find you can be an artist, but you can hide behind your work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's almost like a front.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say I'm quite guilty of it sometimes on Instagram. I'm trying to be a bit more like myself on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd post photos and I'd be like, hilarious because I'm
Yeah.
laughing behind the screen like such a catfish. Like I'm literally in a hoodie right now, like eating a McDonald's, and I'm posing like so. And it's mad how like, it's like, what do you actually want to portray? And I think like being as real as possible is the best.
Yeah. Instagram is funny though because it is a platform you can literally be in one world to the other. If you go on TikTok, my TikTok, Trond, my editor, housemate, business partner, soon to be best friend.
One.
But he was like, yeah, I went on your TikTok because he's got the logins as well to post stuff or whatever. He's like, I went on for like 2, bro, like I can't. It's like conspiracy and spirituality and everything. It's like
I bet your For You is
within
like,
5 minutes,
whoa.
it's like whoa, too much. Yeah, so I feel like for me as well, putting stuff out, like doing shrooms on a pod or doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're shadow banned for 2 weeks.
Literally a minute.
Your stories go from like, you know, whatever it was to 10. You know, you can tell you are. So, and that to me is like, there was no object or anything being consumed or anything. It was just conversation around that. So it just shows how much you're being tapped into what you say, you know. And I think with podcasts, I don't think when it's on
people
Spotify or
love
anything
that.
else like that, you know, people aren't, there's not as many checks in that way. But when
No.
it's visual or, you know, it's
True.
picking up on you know,
Every
the facial,
single detail.
every single detail. But TikTok seems just like, yo, we're just gonna put that out there. Like,
Quite literally, like, woo.
yeah,
And I think, but that's what I love about podcasts as well. The fact that this is your art and you can put it out there. And if people like it, they do. And if people don't, they don't. But at least
Yeah.
you're being authentically yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you're not hiding behind everything's so edited and everything's so, like, what is it, filtered? Like,
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
So, you know, for the listener. But it's really like the listener resonates more with the realness.
yeah. Has
So-
Twitter ever been a thing for you?
Twitter? No. I never got on that shit.
We're illiterate.
I never got on that shit.
No. No.
Twitter, I mean, like, I used to write the most stupidest tweets, like, I love poo and stuff when I was younger, but, like, that was it. Like,
I mean, for
nothing,
me, I'm
anything
just
deep.
bad. Everything would be like, yeah, right, like you spelt like 5 words.
Yeah,
wrong
literally,
there.
that's what I'm saying. And
Trying to be political and it's just all wrong.
And everyone's like, backfires, like, you've just spelt that wrong, mate.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So, like, now we're looking at, like, you know, we spoke about the platforms changing everything else. What do you think is the future of music in a way? Because as we said, like, what some of the good points you said as well was like where everyone's a creative now in a sense, you know. So I feel either that's gonna pop, and then create a new vehicle, a new tunnel where everyone expresses in a different way,
in a different, like, completely different way. I don't know. I
mean, just to give you some context, like the metaverse, you've got gigs or concerts happening there, you know, VR, different platforms coming out where more people are singular.
It's very I feel like it's gonna definitely be very virtual.
Yeah.
But
you'll be flying around again.
literally flying around. But like, it's mad how I just hope that it still becomes about the art. Like, everyone goes for the artist, for their story, or to resonate with them. And I hope it doesn't get too, I don't know, weird. But, you know, I don't know. I get freaked out about the future a little bit of how it can kind of go. But then at the same time, I think music is kind of makes the world go round if you think about it. Like,
yeah, it's very connective.
It is very connective. It's like film. Like, it's never going to die, that industry, because, like, no one's ever going to, like, well, you know what? I don't know. Because think of TikTok. Everyone's attention span so
Yeah, our dopamine is
ridiculously
just fucked.
I 100% have got ADHD or something from having TikTok.
Well, if you read a book and you forget the page, that's more ADHD than it is dyslexia. It's hyper focused, isn't it? Attention deficit. Like, you've literally just been there but not there, not focusing.
Ryan,
I just
think
went
you
in the
diagnosed
cloud.
me with ADHD.
Welcome to the shed.
Wow, what are you doing? I've just yeah,
Yes.
true.
This is not financial advice or mental health advice.
Warning. Oh my god. But yeah, like, I hope the evolution of music, and I hope for, like, me, like, going into the music career, I hope that, I hope it goes well.
Are you excited about festivals and things like that? Now we've
Yeah.
actually got some freedom.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping nothing gets taken away. Like,
I know. Please don't do that again. I mean, yeah, no, I'd love to be able to just get a festival and, like, before. I feel like the energy at a festival is mad. Because everyone's there for, like, that whole buzz.
Yeah.
I think that would be sick. Like, I'd probably
It's like
prefer
people
that.
being people, I think, when a festival's like...
Because everyone's, like, heightened and everyone's, like, off work. Everyone's there to have a good time. There's no negative vibes of... But I find, like, it's interesting that, like, music, I think it's also magic as well, as corny as that sounds. Because, like, you go there and you kind of forget about your problems. Like, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're going to see your favourite artist or whatever. I love going to a gig and, like, being completely absorbed in their, like, world of what they're saying and what they're singing. It's almost like you go and you're just, like, in your own world or in their world, rather than, like, in your own thoughts of, like, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. You're really in it. I find.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Would you, if you would you do something on stage, or would you do a concept, like a festival, something like that? Would you like to go that way? Like, I just love concept festivals.
See, I'd love same. And
I think they're nuts.
They're nuts. And
Have you been Boomtown or anything like that?
No.
No.
I'd freaking love to go. I'd love to go to a lot of festivals. I'd love to go to Tomorrowland. I feel like that would be sick.
Yeah.
And
Big builds and stuff like that are just really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. But I love, like, you know, when you go to, like, a concert or a festival where it's almost like a story behind it. Like, I remember going to see Miley Cyrus perform and it was like a full-on, like, story, or like Gaga, and it was a full-on, like, world.
Yeah.
You're there and you're just, it's a show.
Yeah.
And I love that. I'm a sucker for, like, singing, dancing and acting.
Yeah, but I
Literally.
think now as creatives you have to combine all talents.
You do. And I
You know what I mean?
think, but I also do think the evolution of music is kind of dead. Like, I think I was talking to you before about, like, Christina Aguilera, like Britney Spears era, where everything was such a show and everyone loved that, and the talent was crazy, like Michael Jackson being able to dance. I feel like that's kind of dead and gone. No one really is that infatuated about, like, being a singer, being able to have stamina and being able to dance.
Yeah.
Like Beyonce, I remember going to see her and being, like, blown away with just the, like, her as, like, a athlete almost.
Yeah.
Because she's singing and she's dancing and she's putting on a show and she's not singing a bad note and she's not just giving a half-hearted performance. Where No offense to like all those singers that just sing, because that's their forte if it is. But I'm a sucker for like having that whole showcase, and I think kind of that's dead and gone, which is sad.
But that doesn't mean well you can revive
maybe
it.
Well, that's my plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna revive it.
Yeah, I mean, if there was through your life now, I mean, you've got so much further to go, I'm saying. Hopefully, me too. But looking back, is there anything you would have done different, or anything you would like to go back and do if you could do it again?
No.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think I wish I was a bit more confident in myself, and I wish I kind of trusted my intuition a bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have probably been a bit more, I'm on the right path, no need to stress.
Yeah.
I suppose like you're in the moment, you're stressing. Like I'm stressing about the next moment now, thinking what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen in 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's like, chill.
Just let it
you
flow.
know what? And I think that's the best advice I could give anyone. It's just live in the moment, because literally nothing's guaranteed. As sad as that sounds, but nothing is guaranteed. So you might as well just kind of smash the moment you're in, and like kind of look forward and
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, for me, that's how I kind of think of things. Otherwise, it's like
it gets too depressing.
Yeah, but you think a little bit like me in the sense of where you're going. I would think that in my head, like the worries that everyone have is always there. But I think when you see someone that looks like they've got none, they have just the same, but they're good at hiding it, just like you are.
Everyone is, and that's a really good one as well. Like I thought about this the other day. I remember I was like crying over, I don't know, something stupid, crying in my bedroom, literally wishing my life away. But it's mad how like I was thinking like everyone that I look up to has all these problems. So like there's no point in thinking I was someone else or wishing I was someone else, because realistically, and we're all like, I sometimes used to put people above me and think, oh, they're so much more above me or whatever. But it's like, we're really not. Like everyone's just blagging it.
Yeah.
We're all blagging it, and we're all the same. Like no one's, even though you're more successful than someone, or someone's working in a corner shop, or someone's like selling at arenas or whatever, we're all the same. Like there's no like power difference.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we all have it in our heads of, shit, they've achieved this, that, and the other at this age, and I haven't. And you almost put yourself down, but it's almost thinking like, yeah, but that was their path of what they're meant to do, and your time will come.
Well, I think as well, what's good is things like Kanye's doc coming out, that you see where he come from. You see he's a billionaire.
Yeah, because you automatically
he's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire. You automatically think Kanye is like, oh, he was born into richness or whatever, but it's mad to see the growth.
Yeah,
everyone
that shows the real come up. You know, you can come from nothing to where you are.
So
and
inspiring.
Then, yeah, and I think the comparing can be dangerous, but you know, when you grow up with Instagram and everything, I grew up with flip phones. Like in school,
BlackBerry Messenger.
We just got
iPhone
flip phones with
like basically like this.
Yeah.
Hello, mate. You can that's so funny. Nokia.
But you know, it wasn't so much like that in school. Like how you was pressured, and now it's like, you know, you could be in school with people that have millions of followers.
Yeah, literally on TikTok.
You know, making serious dough.
And he's like, I know.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And they're all doing like,
how are you going to get him
shit
to do his GCSEs or her? You know what I mean? They're just going to be like, look, I don't need
I'm
to do
sorted,
this.
bruv, I'm leaving at 16. I'm sorted going into freaking finance. And you're like, okay, so that's what, you know, mad.
So, like, the one question with this show is, what reality are you in?
Yeah.
So it's like, for your reality, like, what's your belief structures?
In terms of like life.
Like religion, or, you know, would you have anything to sort of what the universe is? These are big questions.
They are, but they're really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all put in the world for a purpose.
Yeah.
But I sometimes think the purpose can be like, it's almost like I feel like my purpose, I'm put on the world to like make a change or like say something to someone, to make, or like to be a public figure and able to say my truth and make people believe it.
Yeah.
But it could almost be like sometimes your purpose that you think you're supposed to do could be like saying one thing, the smallest thing to someone, and they could like change their mindset. Like I think we've all got a purpose to do something, but it's like you don't know what it is.
No.
But I feel like it's funny how we probably think that's what we're doing, but it's actually not. But yeah, my purpose was maybe like, but I also believe that our purpose that we do, once we've achieved it, we die. deep.
Yeah.
But I think because sometimes like this is deep, but sometimes I'll think
Nothing's
about, like,
really deep though, you know. It's more just like it's all just, you know. I think there's levels of what we've been told we can kind of talk about, or what we feel we can talk about.
Yeah.
And with me, it's like these should be more conversation in a
conversation.
certain way.
So like for example,
I'm not saying I'm banning the word deep. You can say deep if you want to say deep. Don't fucking say it. No, I'm joking.
But no, it's true. But I feel like my belief is kind of almost because I used to get a bit freaked out when I thought of like obviously bad things happen all the time, and I also like to think like why would God? Because I would say like I'm spiritual, but I'm not. I believe in God.
Yeah.
I'd like to think there's a higher power, and I believe that someone's looking after me. But I also don't believe like when it comes down to like babies dying after like a second of being born, or like a mum getting cancer, and like all these awful things that happen to people in life. I'm like, why does that happen to good people? Or like, so I think once we've done our purpose, if it was a small purpose of like a baby opening their eyes and someone thinking, oh, that brought whatever, if it linked up to something, it's almost like it's done. Your purpose is done. And I don't know, I'd like to believe that after we've had this life, we go into another life. Like as soon as we die, we get born again. I mean, it would be cool if that could happen, but maybe, I mean, I'd like to think I don't have any past lives, but because I can't remember that stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe this is my first life, and you never know. But I'd like to think that we like
be
die.
scary though.
Be scary though.
If you know you've done this like 1,000 times.
But imagine
What am I doing wrong?
I don't get this. Why am I never achieving my career every time? But it's bad how like I find. What was I saying? Kind of forgot. But like
that you would like if this was the first time you've done this, or if you would like to reincarnate. That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I hope that like I would love to reincarnate into like something else, but also like it's mad how like imagine if we'd lived all these different lives. Like imagine if there was only a percentage in the world of people, and every time someone dies, someone gets born.
Yeah.
So like it's almost recycling, but it's almost like we're coming into like different people and different lives, and so that's why I sometimes think life's so not that deep.
Yeah.
But like it is.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can. Yeah.
I think I heard a few. I mean, I listened to a lot of philosophy. I listened to some crazy fucking shit as well.
Yeah.
But like the reality is fake, but the experience is real.
So what do you mean by the reality is fake?
As in you know, there's a lot of things around that everything's projected from the mind.
Yeah.
So that everything you're experiencing is actually inside rather than outside. There's nothing out here.
Yeah, because you think the world kind of revolves around. Well, we're living our own main characters in our lives.
So in that sense, this is created by the mind, but the experiences that you have within this reality are real.
Wait, dyslexia process.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
Dyslexia process. Say that again.
It's. I mean, it's a hard one for me to still fathom, but it's the fact that you know what it brings me to is that this is all about experience.
Yeah.
Everything is about experience, and the state of amnesia you have, as in the sense, did you have a previous life? Is this just what it is? Where am I from? Who am I? You know, these kind of things.
Yeah.
I think is the idea to separate you from creation, to be a creator, to create your outlet for your purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one of my major kind of like what the fucks, like, because but I think it's the doing and the experiencing that is the key to this, that gives you the happiness that allows you to want to be here.
I actually really believe that, because it is like you like what's like imagine having like kind of being through a life with no like happiness or no like, because we all get endorphins for different things, but like imagine not having the experience or not feeling anything, quite mellow. Like you have to have the lows to enjoy the lows, get through the lows, and you have to have highs.
Of course.
Someone said this to me the other day.
You need the dark for the light.
Yeah, quite literally. But someone said, like, maybe don't enjoy the highs too much. Don't get too highs in the highs, and don't get too lows in the lows, which I kind of like.
Stay in a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, like, listen, if you get high on the high too much, I hope.
Yeah.
A bit of low will bring you back down.
Yeah, and rest.
And rest.
You know what I mean? If you're out for 3 days.
Yeah.
That used to be
And
old
then-
me.
Make sure you have a rest.
Yeah.
And then go again.
So do you feel like after the song and everything else, just going on to lows, like
Yeah.
once you do something that good, like because probably tomorrow after this, I burn out a little bit.
Yeah, same.
Because I've had such a good convo with you or with anyone and anything like
Or
that.
later
You
on,
just
I'll flag a bit.
yeah, you flag a bit. So it's like it's hard to do that. Then I'm like, shall I just do like a podcast every single day?
But no, because also I believe that like being in touch and in tune really with your like creative being. I feel like you need to have time to rest. It's so more important probably than the time that you're going.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the time to rest, you're gonna burn out, and also you don't do the best work.
No, of
Imagine if
course.
you had podcasts back to back before seeing me.
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
probably be drained. You'd probably be like, wouldn't come
Yeah.
across the best. So I think.
Yeah, well, to be fair, yesterday, like when I'm going out on the street and talking to people, we went to this place which was a pop-up in Shoreditch. It's
Oh, yeah.
finished now, but it was an American girl, and it was basically all about misinformation. And on the floor, it had loads of different tweets. So it was like birds are fake. Then it would have like George Soros created slavery, or it'd just be like loads
Yeah.
of different conspiracies and everything else.
Yeah.
And it was how to read conspiracies.
Ooh, I like
Or how to read misinformation, emotion, spreaders, words,
Yeah.
that words that are sort of entrapment in a sense. They're saying what they're saying, but really you're picking up on a word and you don't understand blah, blah, blah. So it's a
Yeah.
way, she wasn't necessarily saying like all conspiracies are fake, all of this, but people need to understand how to learn it.
Yeah.
After speaking to her for like 20 minutes, like I went home.
You're like, I'm done.
Because I was like, you're coming around today, and I was like, you do have to preserve your energy, and I
do.
think it keeps me being a responsible person to
100%.
make sure that when someone comes around or I'm speaking to anyone else, I give the best point.
True.
So you're not going to go on a bender before
be
your first
selfish.
festival concept, are you?
Exactly. Quite literally imagine a mad one before singing. Voice completely wrecked. Shit.
Yeah.
But true.
The Rolling Stones pulled it off though.
Yeah.
They literally
They did, didn't they?
stayed awake for 14 days once.
Mad.
Yeah.
What? But then I suppose that's a rock and roll lifestyle. Isn't
Yeah.
They're a bit,
They're
like,
still
mad.
alive and kicking, most of them, apart from
I
the drummer.
know. My brother recently saw them, and I was like, "Yo, they've been around for decades." Go
They
on.
literally can't stop.
I love it.
No,
I love
no.
it.
Mad.
Rolling
Well, thank
around.
you
Thank you.
so
Ryan.
much for coming.
Yay, that was so
I hope
much
you
fun.
feel cleansed.
I do. I'm baptized.
yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any shout outs or anything you've got coming up that you want to let anyone know? Or are you keeping it all under wraps? You like, I'm writing what I'm writing, my creative process is mine.
Yeah. No, you know what? Keep an eye out. All I'd say is keep an eye out for my music.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different. You can expect realness. You can expect a bit of me, a bit of goofiness.
Mm.
But definitely keep an eye out, and yeah, remember the name, Rhea Melvin. Thank you.
Oh, I'll play something. Me again, last but not least. Just want to say, if you're enjoying these episodes, the Patreon is still at $1.99, but I'm moving it up to $3.99 by May the 1st, so that tier will no longer be available. And if you do enjoy these podcasts and do enjoy the laughter and reality checks we are doing for people and the conversations we're having, and it's something that, brings joy, and if you do have a bit of spare change on a monthly basis, it will really help me out at the beginning of this. I don't want to beg, but I'm begging. So yeah. But yeah, it would really help the process. And me and Tron, we want to keep working together, living together. Hopefully not forever, but we're enjoying it at the moment, and we're both working extremely hard. And there's not millions in this at the beginning, so every little helps. And the more change I get, the more people I'm going to find, the more crazy conversations I'm going to have, and hopefully all our perspective on reality will change for the better. So yeah, I do thank you for anyone that has helped so far, anyone that is listening, anyone that's spreading the word. You're amazing, and I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope we can keep doing this forever. So Thank you.